We have reached the end of this series I've been doing, recapping the non-movie stories that take place in between every episode of the Skywalker Saga. Today I'll be looking at the books, comics, and TV shows that bridge the gap between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Black Spire by Delilah Dawson technically starts during The Force Awakens as Leia sends her top spy, Vi Marati, to find a new base for the Resistance. Vi heads to Batuu with a former First Order captain named Archex, and together they set up a camp in some old ruins. The First Order finds them there, but Archex sacrifices himself in a plan to get rid of them. The Poe Dameron comic by Charles Soule picks up immediately after the Battle of Crait, with Poe on the Millennium Falcon with the rest of the survivors. He receives a message from Black Squadron, his wingmates who were sent off to find Resistance allies. They've fallen under attack on the planet Ikruk, so Poe races off to rescue them and defend the planet. He is successful, and Black Squadron gathers with the rest of the Resistance on Ryloth to regroup in the book Resistance Reborn by Rebecca Roanhorse. Leia learns that former rebels and potential Resistance allies are being rounded up by the First Order, but some are able to make it to Ryloth, including Wedge Antilles, Nora Wexley, Zay Versio, Shriv Surgav, the pilots of Phantom Squadron, General Riken, and Poe leads a mission to get a list of those allies who have been or are targeted for arrest. Wedge leads another mission to rescue some of them, including Ransolm Casterfoe, an old political ally of Leia's. And Shriv leads a third mission to steal some ships to begin rebuilding the Resistance fleet. All the missions are successful, but the Ryloth base is discovered, and so our heroes are put on the run again. In the comic Allegiance by Ethan Sachs, they make their way to the planet Anowat to hide, and the First Order begins finding any planet sympathetic to the Resistance and destroys them. Leia heads to Mon Cala and recruits Aftab Akbar, the son of Admiral Akbar, to her cause, along with a handful of capital ships. Unfortunately, Mon Cala is invaded by the First Order as a result. Meanwhile, Finn and Poe partner up to recover an old weapons cache for the Resistance and run into some bounty hunters looking to capture high-value targets for the First Order. They escape and move on to infiltrate a Bacta plant to gather medical supplies in the Finn and Poe Choose Your Destiny adventure by Cavan Scott. Poe doesn't seem to get any rest as he joins Rey and Rose on yet another mission in Spark of the Resistance by Justina Ireland. While gathering more supplies, they hear a distress call from a planet that has fallen under First Order occupation. They discover a horrible piece of Imperial technology that can be used to enslave the minds of its targets, and they destroy it before the First Order can take it for themselves. Chewbacca has a mission of his own back on Kashyyyk in which he foils a First Order invasion of his homeworld. It's probably around this time that the Resistance makes its way to Batuu to occupy the ruins Vi Marati established, but the First Order hears of their presence and sends their own forces in retaliation, including Kylo Ren. The bounty hunters that attempted to capture Finn and Poe also make their way to the planet in the Galaxy's Edge comic by Ethan Sachs. They deliver an artifact to Dok-Ondar and make enemies of the First Order before being run off-world. And finally, while all of this has been going on, the events of Season 2 of Star Wars Resistance take place. They arrive at D'Qar after the battle that took place there and stay on the run from the First Order themselves. At the time of me writing this video, we're only 5 episodes into the season, so I don't know how much of the show will connect with Episode 9, but it's been heavily implied that the Colossus will appear in the film, so I think it's likely the characters of the show will eventually catch up with the rest of the Resistance. And for now, that's everything we know that's happened in between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and we'll all be watching Episode 9 for the first time in just a few more days. I hope you found this series to be a good recap for what happened in the books and comics, or at least the stories and events that were relevant to the Skywalker Saga. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.